Hi, and welcome to 647, 6 stories for 7 a.m. because there's a famine of truth in our land, and the truth starts now. Let's go. So we have one tapas offering because you guys didn't make any comments. I'm not going to have an elaborate tapas menu if you're not going to make comments. So here we go. You get one tapas offering from the chef. Massachusetts Democrat governor appoints male transvestite to women's commission. That's right. Governor Maura Healey, Democrat, Massachusetts, appointed a transgender identifying male to the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women. Healey, who is one of the nation's first elected lesbian governors, appointed a man named Giselle Bird to the commission and is now the vice chair of the agency's Programming and Planning Committee. Outkick reported. The MCSW says on its website that it's an independent state agency charged with reviewing the status of women and girls in Massachusetts and offering policy recommendations that would improve access to opportunities and equality for all. And by that we mean all, and you know what they mean by all. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to serve alongside my fellow No, I'm going to redo it. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to serve alongside my fellow sister commissioners as the first transgender woman of color on the commission, and I'm so excited for the journey that we will take together, Bird said at the appointment. Healey appointed Bird on August 20th, an action that has gained more national attention after blowback, poor use of words, from conservatives and women's rights advocates. The volunteer 19-member commission was established in 1998. Members are appointed by the governor, the Senate president, the Speaker of the House, and the caucus of women legislators. So don't you dare try to come after us. So look, this is a reminder to my MAGA pals who are getting tired of the Donald J. Bondi state of play, right? Watch the Dems eat their own and see the teaching moments in blue state madness. Trump appears to be floundering, and nobody won in the Schumer shutdown, despite what he says. And maybe the devil you know is the best you can do right now. All right? This ride will get a whole lot rougher before you see anything like satisfaction. All right, take one. This is Trump on Truth Social. I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. And it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on the Democrat shutdown. Okay, this is why you can't handle YCHTT, right? You can't handle the truth. That's not the truth. Just because he says it doesn't make it true. I love the guy. That's not true. There's no great success that happened there. All right? That's a giant question mark. Okay? What did I write here? Are you winning big at the grocery store or the gas pump? Ask people. You don't know. You got sycophants all around you. They're all buying crypto everything and becoming billionaires. This is great. Yeah, it's not great on Main Street. Not a bit. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages of the public on Epstein are looking at various Democrat operatives, Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, etc. And their relationship to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they are legally entitled to. That's the catchphrase. I don't care. Yeah, you don't care now. You've all met and decided what's allowable. All I do care about is that the Republicans get back on point, which is the economy, affordability, where we are winning big. You know what? This is sounding to me like him bragging about Operation Warp Speed over and over again while everybody's out here having people dying and disabled by that damn vaccine. And here he is pounding his chest. Operation Warp Speed was so fantastic. And then he sits down with John Rich, and John goes, let me explain something to you, man. And I love you and I support you, but you are so off on this. Now I'm going to say the same thing. Go talk to John Rich. You are so off on this. You are pissing off your base. You're like George Bush Sr. going, I don't know how much broccoli costs. We don't need these kind of reruns. You're supposed to be the man of the people. You ain't talking to the people. So victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing. That's not what we experience out here, guy. You go to the grocery store, you buy food for 2 days, it's over $100. It's ridiculous. So bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars in investment, an American record, the rebuilding of our military, securing our border, deporting criminal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if Democrats had anything, they would have released it before our landslide election victory. Some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. So he's smoking Marjorie Taylor Greene right now. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. Let's start talking about Republican Party's record-setting achievements. Enough of that crap. Trump, listen up, dude. Epstein equals, on Main Street, no justice for minor-aged girls against the power brokers. Equals, we, that means MAGA and all of your base, have no justice against the power brokers, and you and Pam and Cash are not providing winning optics of justice against the powerful. The American people want to see it, and you're not providing it. You're just blathering on about how great everything is, and it is not. Not on Main Street. Maybe at the ballroom, but not on Main Street. Get with the program. Take two. Education Secretary Linda McMahon says the shutdown proved just how little the Department of Ed will be missed. President Donald Trump's Education Secretary Linda McMahon said the 43-day government shutdown proved just how little the Department of Education will be missed. USA Today ran an op-ed from McMahon on Sunday in which she doubled down on President Trump's campaign promise to shutter the Department of Ed and send more power back to the states and local communities. Trump has quipped that he wants McMahon to put herself out of a job, and he signed an executive order in March calling for the dismantling of the department. However, officially ending the department would take an act of Congress, as it was Congress that created it 45 years ago under President Jimmy Carter. So 45 years ago, right, Carter basically said, big government will fix education. What he meant was that Saul Alinsky will be teaching our students to hate America and to believe that activism is a viable career choice. Jimmy lived to be 100, the oldest living president. You know why? He kept looking. He was waiting to see a single solitary shred of positive result for the billions of dollars spent by the Department of Ed. Never saw any. What he got instead was lesbian shrieking shill for the Democratic Party, Randy the Scream Weingarten. Our nation just experienced the longest government shutdown in its history. The 43-day shutdown, which came smack in the middle of the fall semester, showed every family how unnecessary the federal education bureaucracy is to their children's education. Students kept going to class, Teachers continued to get paid. There were no disruptions in sports seasons or bus routes. McMahon wrote. Que linda. Go ahead, Linda. Tell the truth and do a fantastic job. No BS. Take 3. Frazzled parents turn to screen time coaches. $8,000 detox camps to rein in kids' tech. From personal screen time coaches to online communities, caregivers are looking for any help they can get to keep up with tech usage. Caregivers. I think we're looking for a word parent, and people don't know what that means to be a parent. Okay, it's from the Latin word. It means begetter. It means one who nurtures and creates something, right? You have to invest to do that. Okay, you don't just throw kid the latest technology and then you got your face smashed into it also. It's ridiculous. When parents feel like they've lost control of their children's tech usage, they can call up Daniel Toll. Great. A professional screen time coach who works with families one-on-one. The 36-year-old says many have the same question. What's the perfect amount of screen time to make kids behave? The reality he's found is more complicated. Of course it is. You got to spend more time and bill. Many parents are just as glued to their devices as their kids, and oversimplified solutions like going cold turkey rarely work. A job he thought was going to be mostly technical advice has become about relationships and helping parents navigate a complex ecosystem that wasn't originally designed with children in mind. There lies the opportunity, right? It's fend for yourself out there, says Toll, who's based in Britain. They're doing so great over there. Parents are trying to keep their kids alive, keep them safe, keep them happy, and then you somehow have to know how Instagram and TikTok algorithms work, how a VPN works. You have to understand what Discord is. If you don't know any of that stuff, wise up, figure it out, Google it, watch the videos. You'll know in a minute. Technology kind of snuck up on us as a society, said Michael Jacobus, executive director of the Reset Summer Camp, right? I bet there's tons of Christian conservative kids there. For Digital Detox in Santa Barbara, California, we didn't really understand the addictive nature of it until it was too late, right? For 4 weeks, a group of around 36 teenagers lives in college dorms with no tech access. The camp costs just under $8,000 per camper. The first week, says Jacobus, is rough, but eventually the kids who are 13 to 18 adjust to the schedules and relearn how to spend time offline. Since he started the camp in 2017, Jacobus says he's seen the technology itself change, but the problems largely stay the same. Too many caregivers, the PC name for parent, giving kids smartphones early and then failing to maintain control of how much they're used. Quite honestly, parents are looking for outside sources because they're reluctant to be parents. No, they're not interested enough. They'd rather pay money to somebody. Here, I'll pay you to be the parent. I don't want to spend time with my kid. I'm too important. I got to get my Facebook thing going. About a quarter of kids 12 and under have their own smartphone, according to Pew Research Center, and most have access to a tablet or smartphone. While 86% of parents say they have rules around device usage, most say they're only able to stick to them most of the time or sometimes. Yeah, they're not doing it at all. They have one outburst a week about it. I never imagined parenting being this hard, and technology only makes it harder. It's like adding another full-time job, said Stephanie Loesch, an educator and mother to an 8th grader. I run across kids without phones and think, that's the smartest thing I ever did. Yeah, it is. To try to keep up, Lush 51 is active in online communities and follows creators focused on kids and technology. She isn't always successful. Recently, she learned AI chatbots like Polybuzz can have inappropriate conversations. Do you see who creates this stuff? Right? They're sociopaths, but only after she'd allowed her daughter to download it. She now pays $15 a month for the Bark app, a monitoring system that flags alarming activity to a guardian. Or you could just take the damn thing away. Bark is also behind one of the largest online communities for parents and caregivers discussing how to manage their kids' technology. Parenting in a Tech World on Facebook has more than 650,000 members and can get 50 to 100 posts a day asking about the risks of popular games like Roblox, advice on what social media to allow or to help with parental controls. Note, all the parental controls in the world will not protect your kids from themselves. That's what the main expert here, that's his closing statement, right? All the parental controls in the world will not protect your kids from themselves. It was never supposed to be that way, okay? They're called parents, you know? That's the job of parents. And if you're going to be a good parent, you don't let your kid become a slave to this garbage. You don't let them become manipulated and indoctrinated. And you take the phone and invest your time with them. You teach them meaningful service, not digital narcissism. And if you think it's not important, the rise in teen suicide, which is the number one cause of death among teenagers in the United States, rises in a corollary to the smartphone use of teenagers. So if I gave you a car to drive them to school and it crashed every day, would you keep using it? I mean, it's too stupid and selfish. All right, take 4. This is a You Can't Handle the Truth pop quiz. Devout Christian Democrat caught. So let's just start with those first 3 words. Devout Christian Democrat, okay? I don't need to make friends with people who think they can be Christians and promote the slaughter of the unborn. You ain't a Christian, dude. You can make it up all you want. You can smile and quote the scriptures, but there's only one way to heaven, and that's through Jesus Christ. And he is never going to say, oh, that's okay. You were so nice to so many people. It's okay that all those unborn children were slaughtered and you supported that because you just have to be liked by the cool people. So James Tallarico, 36, who is a seminarian, I'm going to defend this guy now, who is a seminarian and state house member, was found to have followed several X-rated accounts in a report by Axios. The 4-term state representative who is running for U.S. Senate is a Presbyterian seminarian who has made his Christian faith a key aspect of his political aspirations. So this is, again, something very important right now in the news cycle is watching the cannabis cannibals eat their own, okay? They're eating this guy. He's a Democrat. He's a devout Democrat, more devout to being a Democrat than being a Christian, and they want him out. So Axios, liberal rag, they're going to say, we caught this guy. He's all over porn. He's a hypocrite. Don't vote for him again. Okay? So Tallarico follows about 3,700 users on Instagram, including a handful of women who share explicit or suggestive content while linking to adult-oriented websites. The report said that earlier this year, he had actively liked multiple photos of an Austin Instagram account holder who has an OnlyFans and a page on an escort website, right? He doesn't know that when she's following him and likes him. He also follows Instagram accounts of an adult film actors, including adult actress Giselle Palmer, who goes by the name Honky Tonk Angel online. His spokesperson, JT Ennis, explained why the Texas Democrat followed the women and said that Tallarico was not the only person using the account. Don't say lame stuff like that. Don't back off. The social media team, including James, follows back and engages with supporters who have large followings and does investigate their backgrounds and does not investigate their backgrounds, Enos said. So let me explain this, okay? Because I'm in the same trap. You're told by the people who are saying, hey, this is how we're going to manage the online thing. You got to get out there. You got to get the most aggressive algorithm. And how can you do that? You have to show on every platform that you're using all their toys. If you do that, they'll improve your algorithm and you'll get out to more people. So you're told to be active and to follow those who follow you. So for the first 6 months I'm doing this, Pat would say, what do you see on the platforms? I said, it's all Chinese hookers. That's all it was. It was all Chinese women saying, I'm looking for an older man, right? I want someone to treat me nice. And here's my fanny and here's my cleavage, right? So that's what it is. So I'm just deleting and deleting and deleting and deleting and waiting for anybody who's actually reading my content. And so my rule is I'll follow back anybody who has decent content, or at least not offensive content, and is at least keeping their clothes on, all right? So, but I don't know that the person that's showing me that then doesn't have this whole other digital enterprise. You don't even know that the person that you're looking at is even that person, right? So I would say of all of the people who follow me every day, and I have to wade through hundreds of these things, it's, again, still mostly Chinese hookers looking for older guys to be husbands, right? They're targeting my group. In reality, third world hackers, right? They just put somebody's picture up there, and they're trying to dupe the lonely into some kind of stupid financial commitment. Right? I really want to come and see you, but I don't have the money for the plane ticket. Let's do that. I'll come. I'll be the best, whatever you want. Okay? This guy I'm defending, not as a Christian. Okay? I'm sorry. You cannot support the Democrats and be a Christian. There's no reason to mince words about that. It ain't possible. Okay? And I've spent a lot of time in New York City in Christian churches that all voted Democrat and all say, you know what? I'm a good person. I'm a good person, but I have to slaughter those babies or I can't talk to anybody at work. I'll never get invited to a party. I don't know what to say on social media. Well, you can say this, I'm going to hell. Easy enough? Take the phone away. Easy enough? There's no such thing as a devout Christian Democrat. So I defended you, buddy, but only about the hooker thing. All right, take 5. Dems eat their own. Again, this is a life lesson for MAGA. Hakeem Jeffries faces primary challenge from Mamdani ally Chi Ose. And who knows that that's how you say his name? And I don't give a damn how he says his name. I don't give a damn about this guy. He is a part of the phenomena that is trying to destroy our country. And so, guess what? Hakeem is being grafted into the Chucky Schumer barbecue, right? Because he was Chucky's wingman through all of this. And they promised him, you're going to be the next Speaker of the House, and you're going to impeach Trump, and blah, blah, blah. We just have to hold it together to the midterms. Well, that ain't going to happen, all right? Mamdani's got all the steam. Chucky Schumer's going down, and Hakeem is not going to be able to disconnect because now Mamdani's people, man, they're going, no, dude, you got an ankle leg iron connected to Chucky. You are not escaping this. And I'm going to put my boy, Chi Ose, in your place. And we are going to burn this place down. And we'll have your spot in Washington. A Brooklyn city councilman known for his ties to progressive movements has formally launched a campaign committee to challenge House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in the 2026 Democrat primary, mounting a rare intra-party bid against one of the highest-ranking Democrats in Congress. He's a put-up puppet joke. I know the guy. I've been on panels speaking with him in New York City, okay? He's done. On Monday, November 17th, the Federal Election Commission received a new statement of organization for a campaign committee titled Chiase for Congress. The filing confirms that Chiase, a 27-year-old Brooklyn councilman, intends to run in New York's 8th congressional district. Ase, who became the youngest member of the city council when he was elected in 2021, recently rejoined the Democratic Socialists of America. The seat is currently held by House Minority Leader Hakeem Say Goodbye Jeffries, who has represented the district since 2013. Ase, who identifies as openly queer, must be a prerequisite for all these blue key positions, has reportedly told political allies that he plans to run during the 2026 midterms. He's a Mamdani associate and a fanboy, and we're all living in London now, okay? You can hide out in Florida, but it's coming, okay? You don't know what's going to come with whoever the next governor is, okay? So this is bad, bad news. And MAGA, you better quit acting up. You better get yourself together because these guys are coming. They're as crazy as they want to be, and they are going to take over before you know it. All right, take 6. Last item. Outgoing New York City Mayor Eric Adams warns everything is not fine. Let's see. Outgoing New York City Mayor Eric Adams used his visit to Israel to deliver one of his bluntest warnings yet about incoming socialist mayor-elect Zoran the Magnificent Mamdani, declaring, "If I were a Jewish New Yorker, I would be concerned about my children," and insisting everything is not fine for the city's Jews as anti-Semitism surges and a new administration prepares to take power. Adams arrived in Israel. Why? You don't want to know. On Friday for his final trip as mayor. Why has the outgoing mayor got to go to Israel? Why does he have to spend all that money? You know, we're never going to find out what the real deal is here. So he's meeting with business and political leaders and visiting sites tied to October 7th, Hamas massacre. On Sunday, the Combat Anti-Semitism Movement, CAM, hosted an event in Tel Aviv honoring him for his support of Israel and his effort to confront rising anti-Semitism, an event that quickly shifted into a stark warning about New York's future under Mamdani. I've been in this guy's office. I've had meetings twice, and the dude's a thug. That's it. He wanted to be mayor to steal like de Blasio did. Okay, that's what you do in New York City. You steal from your constituents. Everybody's got the dirt on him, but, you know, he's going to get some kind of bonus from Israel for being committed to the Jewish cause. Okay, everybody survives one way or another. Asked about Jewish safety once Mamdani takes office January 1, Adams did not hedge. "We need to be honest about the moment and cannot sugarcoat it," he said. "New York Jewish community must prepare themselves. This is a period where you need to be conscious about the level of global hostility towards the Jewish community. If I were a Jewish New Yorker, I would be concerned about my children." Pressed again, Adams said, was even more direct. Everything is not fine. If you say everything is fine, you are setting yourself up for failure. The outgoing mayor described an alarming cultural shift in which anti-Semitism is now socially rewarded. It is now cool and hip to be anti-Semitic, Adams said, recounting an encounter with a teenager in Brownsville who called him a Zionist and demanded Israel's destruction despite being unable to locate the country on a map, a worldview absorbed entirely through social media. They hijacked our young people, Adams warned. Their plan was well executed. Now we need a professional plan to fight back. Little late, guys. Remember the old song, "Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am." Well, here we are, okay? Look at this guy. That's a broken-minded person. He's dealing with broken-minded people. The whole regime coming into New York City is reprobates. The whole place is full of reprobates. They're watching that. I can't tell you the reports I'm getting from New Yorkers. People getting mugged, like Antifa groups standing on corners already in black hoodies, like 20 guys at a time, just pushing people around and being openly obnoxious and threatening. And nothing's being done. And this is before Mamdani's inauguration, right? It's just going to be so awful to watch. It is. And the exodus is massive. All right? You know what's not massive? The likes, the comments, the pushing it out to your network. I need some massive. There's going to be a fight. Okay? If we lose this fight, you can write me notes in jail. That's what's going to happen. That's what we're facing. And guess what? MAGA's not so confident in Trump anymore. He's like talking like some king who's way off in the distance, imagining a world that doesn't exist. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm just saying we better hold the course, stick to what we know is true, stick to what we know is right, okay? And here's how you begin. You lift your face to the sky and say, "Dear God, Jehovah, the creator of the universe, you have been present in all of history, in all of the affairs of men. You already know how this whole thing ends. And so in our little piece of it, I ask you to please bless these people as they face a Tuesday and head into the week with more power, more integrity, more creativity, and more will to do great work to honor you, dear God. God bless you, and thank you for being here.